So in today's video, we are going to be discussing briefly the situations, what happening across the world, how it's going to affect us here in Spain with regards to tourism. We have the exclusive look behind the scenes, a brand new venue opening here in Palmanova. So I'm excited to show you that one. Then we're going to look at some important dates for your diary, including the Rally Clásico, Lobster Club's opening party, and then a once in a lifetime opportunity, which is happening this year. So do not miss that one. My name's Shane, the owner of Connected Mallorca, and I will be bringing you all the latest news, openings, and any updates from the southwest of Mallorca. Okay, so not that we're going to be using these videos to get into or start talking about politics, but of course it's difficult to give an update without touching on what's going on in the world right now, specifically as we are getting asked the question as it relates to tourism. So I was asked just yesterday, are we worried about with what's going on in the world if it's going to affect this summer season, specifically here in Mallorca? The truth is, from our side, events like that, as horrible as it is, and it's tragic what's happening in the world, it actually increases the tourism for places like Spain because people start to naturally look towards safer, easier options. And we're very, very fortunate, which has always been the case, and hopefully it stays that way, that Spain is viewed as a safe destination. And an island like Mallorca, even more so. You know, it's terrible what's happening in the Middle East. Hopefully that all comes to an end very soon. If you take Dubai, for example, I think that's one region that everybody's looking at with so much interest. Why? Because of course it's such a hot spot. We all know people living there, visiting there regularly, and I think that place was just on such an incredible trajectory and people investing money and loving the place. But I think what's happened now is going to be a reality check, and let's see how the people and the market respond to that, because it is a scary position to be in. You know, you suddenly feel that and realize something can happen like this, and all of a sudden it's kind of taken out of your hands. Now, we had something very similar here in Mallorca, not in a war, but I remember it was back in 2010, the Icelandic volcano that grounded flights. I don't know if you remember that, but we was faced with a real reality as it ran on days, and I think it went beyond a week. It was like, what if this runs into another couple of months and we lose this season? And people are just so dependent on that. So it's a really strange feeling to suddenly be so happy and just seeing the money train running and running, and then all of a sudden you realize it might be taken away. I'll be very interested personally to see what happens next with Dubai and how people bounce back and how they respond. I love that people are speaking positively, and it is one of the safest cities in the world. However, I think if you was to jump back 2 weeks and ask people, listen, just so you know, in 2 weeks from now there's going to be 130 ballistic missiles fired at this city from Iran, but don't worry, we can defend ourselves very well. Would you like to stay and ride that out and hope that we defend ourselves against those missiles, or would you like to leave before that happens? I think it'd be very interesting to see how many people would leave. So to answer the question, of course this can escalate and we do not know what happens next. But as things are at the moment, Spain is always viewed as a safe place in this. People naturally want to go closer to home, and it really makes you appreciate and value where we are. So let's go into some more positive news back to the island of Mallorca and right here in Palmanova. Now, we touched on one of our first videos that there is going to be a brand new high-end Chinese restaurant opening in the old Modigliani's. If you don't know where that was, it was the old Italian restaurant which was right across where the boats are at the very end of the harbour in Palmanova. So the guys behind Annabelle and Ciso Beach, that group, have taken that over and they're opening the brand new Chinese restaurant, and we have got exclusive photos to show you today of exactly what that's going to look like, and it is amazing. So we cannot wait to see this open. We can also reveal the name. So again, another little exclusive to us here at Connected Mallorca. So the place is going to be called Bamboo. So that's another amazing step forward, a great addition for the region of Calvia. And from what the guys are saying, it's going to be open all year, which is exactly what we need. The opening date, we have been told, is going to be middle of April, just after Easter. As soon as we have that finalized, we will let you know. Some dates for your diary. 5th to the 7th of March, we have the Rally Clásico Mallorca. If you haven't seen that before, it's the classic car race that starts right in front of Yara in Puerto Portals. So if you're looking for something to do between the 5th and 7th of March, get yourself down to Portals. You'll see some amazing cars. I've watched it myself. Such a beautiful setting. You're in Portals, surrounded by the yachts, and you watch these classic cars head off for the race. The reason I mention these events, because that's just another one of those things where I would be driving around and I would see these cars pass me and I'd be like, what is that? What is going on? So hopefully me bringing that news and those dates means you don't have to miss these events. Now, another date for the diary is Saturday the 16th of May is the opening party for Lobster Club. If you haven't been to one of their big events and parties before, get that one in the diary, because with venues like this across this region, that you can apply for a different license, okay? And you're only allowed to do that once a month. But what it means means is you can play music later into the evening, and the important part is you can play at a higher volume. So it just creates a completely different atmosphere to what you'll find. So if you're not there for the opening party, make sure you check out one of their monthly full moon parties, because the view they have down there and the positioning they have under that full moon, their monthly parties on there are becoming iconic for the region. So make sure you check that out at Lobster Club this year in Puerto Portals. So now is a very, very special date for your diary, because this one is a once in a lifetime event, and it's happening right in the middle of the summer season this year here in Mallorca. And that is going to be a total solar eclipse of the sun. Now, I was researching a little bit of information on this to understand exactly why this is so unique, okay? And I'm going to read a little quote from one of my favourite websites, Sky and Telescope. So he says, imagine the thrill of witnessing a totally eclipsed sun suspended just above the horizon minutes from sunset, and watching this celestial spectacle from a 5-star resort perched atop of a rugged cliff on the magical Spanish island of Mallorca. Now, the last time this happened was 1905, just to give you an idea. So we have been getting messages, and I was getting messages about this before I knew this was happening. So this really, really is, if you're into that stuff, is going to be an amazing and special event. And to be honest, even if you're not, this is going to be one of those things where you have to have a look and try and get involved, because there's going to be such a buzz around the island and people heading here only for this, okay? It is August the 12th this year. Solar eclipse starts at a very specific time of 7:38, and it's mid-eclipse around 8:30. So what that means is it's just before sunset. So for the best vantage points, really, you want to be across to Daya and Soya, and the best views you're going to have are uninterrupted, because the sun is going to be almost at sunset. So imagine watching that just as the sun is getting ready to go down. It then hits a total solar eclipse, then it comes back into view, and then you have that sunset. So this is why it's going to be such a magical experience. Now, of course, if you're not one of the lucky ones who's managed to get one of the hotels or these amazing villas across that side, then one of the most incredible experiences you're going to have is to view this by boat. So people are now booking yachts like crazy just for this date, and people of course are staying on the yachts overnight so they can take the boats around that side of the island. Just picture yourself enjoying this once in a lifetime event from the back of your own yacht. So of course, if you're interested in that, you know to send us a DM and we'll get those options over for you, because we believe there are still some yachts available. So I think that's it for today's video. As always, if there's anything you would like to see me cover or anything you think we have missed specifically for the southwest of Mallorca, then leave it in the comments down below.